do and I don't at the same time. I
I
kind of
do and I
can't
don't.
because I'm like Canadian, but like I do at the same time.
Can I have you read my rules for me?
I did not see Be American.
That's okay. Can you just read them so everyone knows
Sorry.
what they are?
Would you like me to?
Yeah.
Be 18, be American, be MAGA.
Okay. Thank you, Mickey. I hope you have a good rest of your day. If
These
you're inside of the
fucking
queue,
ways.
please follow the rules. And if you're curious, you don't see this on YouTube, you only see this on TikTok, but the rules are like on top of my face, dude. They're on top of my face on TikTok.
It's literally
Let's go and
on
try to
his
get that next
face.
guest loaded up into the box right now. Let's
No
get that
diddy.
next guest loaded up into the queue.
Hello, sister. How you doing? What you up to, sister?
Hi, do you support Trump, Liam?
What's happening? What's happening? What's
Yes.
bracket? What's bracket?
How old are you?
13. My bad. I didn't.
Ooh, what you
Wow.
get for dinner? W dinner.
This is brutal, Dean.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you're still
Olive
cute,
Garden.
bro.
I've
You're
had-
cute, but do that!
I ain't had none in forever. I had Olive Garden in a minute. That was my shit though, no doubt.
We got FBE.
Can you please
loaded.
debate my dad?
Is he with you?
He's
right
not a
now?
troll, I promise.
Hello.
Hi. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, welcome in. My name's Dean. I have my
My
friend Parker
tummy's
on
full
the
now.
line.
Nap time. Get you
I
some
don't know
rest,
what you
sister.
know about what
I'm about to
we
get
do
ready
here,
to get
so I
on
thought I'd just
TikTok
give
in a
you
minute. I'm
little
just
bit of
doing
a
my love.
rundown.
Live-
We do a live
vibing right now.
stream on the internet where anyone can call in, and the purpose of our show is to talk to people that support Trump as president, to have a debate and to hopefully change their mind. So
Okay.
if you're on board with all that, I'm actually just going to pass the mic here to my friend Parker for a moment to kind of start the dialogue, so I could go use the restroom.
Fair enough.
You know, we'll both be kind of talking to you about your support for Trump. So if you want to take it away and
Excuse
tell Parker
me.
why you're MAGA, go for it.
All right. Parker, how you doing today? Just calling in to say I support Trump, support the MAGA,
Support the MAGA.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
because he's, the last administration just seemed to let America get pushed around, and
Hello, Sky Bear.
you know,
What you up
Trump's
to?
not going for that. He's stopping the
Hello
drug
there,
flow.
hello.
He's securing the oil, trying to secure up the Middle
Shit, I'm
East.
chilling right now, just watching Dean right now, and then I'm getting on TikTok here in a second. What are you up to?
Do you,
He's,
think that, do you think that Americans should be dying on behalf of a war for Israel?
You about to clean? What are you
I
cleaning
think
up?
it's a war to help stabilize the world.
How is it stabilizing the world? If especially Iran, there's no U.S. intelligence Iran was going to strike the U.S.
Well, previous administrations sent gold and cash to Iran, and that wasn't working either. So maybe the missiles will work out better.
What the
Well,
fuck?
they didn't send money to them. They just they put sanctions on them and then removed those sanctions so that they could have surveillance over their nuclear enrichment facilities. So it was to prevent them from developing nuclear weapons through negotiation and not through war.
All right, makes sense.
Would you prefer negotiation and rather not war?
I mean, I'd have to say you're correct on that. I always go negotiation over war, but sometimes to get the job done, you got to take the tough route.
But you clearly the job did get done, but prior to that point. And also Trump said that we completely destroyed their nuclear sites anyway 6 months ago. I thought they were supposed to be gone for years, but apparently they're able to develop a nuclear weapon already 6 months later.
I mean, they did have some buildings going on those sites, and you never know how quickly they can rebuild up.
Rebuild what up, are you saying?
Their nuclear program.
So, then if they could do it quickly, then the original strikes, were they bad or were they ineffective?
I could say potentially ineffective, but
Okay. So if you would at least acknowledge that they would be potentially ineffective, would you say that at least Obama had a more effective way of addressing this? Because Trump, when originally addressing this, said that Obama would start a war with Iran because he's weak and ineffective and cannot negotiate.
I feel like the Obama and Biden administrations were showing weakness in America and letting other countries push us around.
How so?
You know, basically they bowed down to these countries and made it sound like America was some kind of demon, where Trump is showing that America's powerful and, you know, we're a world leader out here.
How did they make us seem like a demon? I'm really confused.
You know, some of their speeches and references to other countries, and
Such as?
like with Obama in France, with his speech there, kind of like,
What did he say?
well, it kind of demonized America, made us sound weak, and
I don't think he makes us sound weak. I think he strengthened our relationship with our allies. I think Trump's destabilized our relationships with our allies. He's literally threatened to leave NATO. He's threatened to literally invade Greenland. He's threatened to annex Greenland. He's threatened to annex Canada. And that's threatening our core fundamental allyships with those countries.
yeah, I mean, he's negotiating for Greenland to make us more stable and give us more resources and
I don't think threatening our allies
get on
is going to
top of
keep them
communism.
closer.
I mean, it's like the art of the deal. Sometimes you got to shoot high and get something in the middle.
Okay. What art of the deal? What negotiation has he got done that's made things better off? Because he said he got $17 trillion of investment. We've seen real domestic manufacturing investment decline every single quarter of Trump's administration. So although Trump claims success with negotiation, there clearly isn't that success, and we actually see the complete opposite.
I mean, I'm seeing success out there. Is bringing American steel back.
The war is the failure of negotiation. That's what you do when you can't negotiate. Is you go to war.
Yeah, good point. Good point. You got me on that one.
And this is a preemptive war started on behalf of the state of Israel. There was a top Trump official that literally resigned today because he said that there was no U.S. intelligence indicating that Iran was going to strike the United States, and that Israel got us into this war.
Well, I mean, the understanding was Israel was going to strike Iran, and once they did that, Iran was going to come after us, so it was a preemptive strike.
Okay, so why did Trump lie about it and say that he's the one who got Israel to do it when multiple officials, or an official in his administration says the exact opposite? And the same thing with Marco Rubio, said the exact opposite as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sometimes that they get bad intel, and he shoots from the hip instead of actually getting all of his intel from different sources, and he does kind of spout off at times. But you got to take the good with the bad.
Did you know the same thing happened under the Biden administration, where Israel came to the United States and said that Hezbollah was going to attack the United States and that we should preemptively strike them? And according to Secretary Blinken, Biden said no, and that we wouldn't be on the side of Israel on any like offensive wars of aggression.
I mean, Biden was sending billions of dollars to Israel to fight in the Gaza against the Palestinians.
I'm not disputing that either, but like the point that I'm making is that there was a distinction, at least from Biden, that he considered that offensive conflicts that we shouldn't engage in, right, and said no to Israel on that behalf, whereas Trump was willing to say yes in all of these scenarios, no matter what.
I mean, sounds like Biden was kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth.
It doesn't, because I mean, I think that like they claim from their own side that it was defensive, although I think we would acknowledge that it clearly wasn't, right? They have some sort of delineation, ideologically speaking, that demonstrates that to be the case.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it seems like America, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican in there, they're getting into some kind of conflicts and wars, and we're always funding both sides of every war.
Which is wrong, right? And we shouldn't be doing that, right?
I mean, This is a crazy world we live in, and you got to do some
Unironically,
crazy stuff sometimes.
The
to
Biden-Harris
keep this world
administration
straight.
was the most anti-war administration in modern American history. It's like, think about it. Okay, well, we saw Bush throw us into the Middle East. Obama continued what was going on in the Middle East. We're doing terrible shit over there, like the war crime on that hospital that killed 47 people, and then the Pentagon was like, not a war crime because it was accidental. Then Obama was like, sorry. Okay. And then we had Trump under his first term, an increase in drone strikes on the Middle East by 482%. Okay. Then, like, first couple months of Biden's term, we withdraw from the Middle East and refuse to do any preemptive strikes on Hezbollah, even after Israel asked us to. Then Trump gets back in the Oval. Next thing we know, in the first year and a half, we're striking their enrichment facilities and going to full-fledged war. The most anti-war admin in modern American history, funny enough, was Biden and Harris.
I disagree
Not saying that
with
they were
that
perfect.
because
Not saying that they're perfect by any
they may not have
means.
had us boots on the ground war, but they were funding plenty of wars.
Or
They,
I would
they
agree.
sent billions. They
I
sent
would
billions to
agree.
Ukraine.
Well, I mean, I actually think it's a good thing to fund defensive movements. I would argue that funding defensive movements against war is an anti-war sentiment. Now, where I would agree that they're funding war would be Israel, right? That's why I said they're not perfect, because they're absolutely funding the genocide in Palestine, 110%. Okay? But, still less anti-war than any other administration that we've had in modern American history.
And before they were funding Israel, they sent $6 billion to the Palestine.
Well, I mean, base. Yeah, whoever sends
So they're
money to
basically
Palestine is
funding
anti,
both sides. They're both
is
funding both
anti-
sides of it.
Yeah, I think they sent some money for humanitarian causes in Palestine. Once again, that's anti-war.
Yeah, I'd have to see what they actually use the money for.
Okay, so you'd argue that that's what they sent the money for, but that's not what they used the money for. Okay, all right. So, I mean, even in consideration of those facts, they're still the least, the most anti-war administration in modern American history. Like, still yet, what we saw under Bush, Obama, and then Trump in his 2 terms was more anti-war than what we saw under Biden.
So we just know that at least Trump is more pro-war than Harris would be. We know that because Harris is against the war with Iran. Trump is in support of the war with Iran. That's evidence right there.
Yeah, but Harris didn't get in, so we don't really know what she would have really done.
She said this. She said that she disagrees with the war with Iran.
Of course she's going to say that, but if she was in and they attacked us, what would have she done?
They attacked us. They weren't going to attack us. According to U.S. intelligence, there was no intelligence indicating that they were going to attack us.
I'm saying it might have been a different situation under Harris.
Okay, but like,
Or maybe she would have sent them pallets of gold and cash, and they went to everything would have been happy.
what? I already explained that to you earlier that wasn't what they did. They put sanctions on them, and then they removed the sanctions to be able to get surveillance over their enrichment facilities. Unprecedented levels of surveillance. So that was just that, not giving them money, but giving them access back to the money they already were taking
Was
from them.
sanctioned from them.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was gone when you first started giving the argument why you're pro-Trump. What does that argument reduce to?
Basically just that, he's bringing back America as a power. He's, bringing back American steel and
Yeah. Okay. I'll have my
There
own
were
rant on
tariffs
that
under
in a
both
second.
administrations for steel.
Yeah. So I don't think that
gotta
Donald
get going
Trump.
now.
I appreciate you for coming up, Parker. I appreciate you.
Appreciate that, Vern.
I
Good
really
on,
don't.
Parker.
I really don't think that there's any good argument to conclude that he's bringing back America, right? Because like domestically, we're feeling pains that we haven't felt in a long time because of him. Like especially when we look at the economy. Last year, 2025, we had the worst jobs report in recorded American history since 2003 if we ignore recessions. Most manufacturing bankruptcies since 2008. Declining amount of business investment after 3 years of a boom under Biden. Declining GDP growth after 3 years of a boom under Biden. Okay, we saw the worst. We saw the most layoffs since the peak of the pandemic. Highest level of unemployment since the pandemic as well. Right, and this trend is only continuing into 2026 with a total loss of 92,000 jobs in February, which was 6 standard deviations behind what was expected by economists across the country.
And I would say that the boom under Biden was caused by the previous Trump administration, and Trump's dealing with the effects of the Biden administration, and that's what's bringing down a lot of our economy and jobs at this point.
Yeah. So then justify that argument. Give evidence for it.
Well, just like them overflowing our borders and putting a strain on everything, and then now all that money's coming back, and Trump's having to deal with all the problems with that.
Wait, so when the borders were being overridden, there was no issue in the job market. But then as soon as the borders close, there is an issue in the job market?
Because it takes time for the effects to happen.
Okay, can you give me reason to believe that? Why would more undocumented immigrants mean a higher unemployment rate?
I mean, it's just over history. It's a cycle. You know,
No,
one
it's actually
president
not
does something,
over
and it takes a
history.
while for it to...
Over history, what's actually true, according to a study done by the Khalil Institute, okay, is actually higher levels of immigration means a lower level of unemployment for natural U.S.-born citizens, because undocumented immigrants and immigrants as a whole, ow, mom was eating me again, actually incentivize more productivity in the economy due to the fact that they are significantly more likely to work and then engage and buy in many American industries and citizens. So,
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, and I feel a lot of this deportation stuff is just trying to knock
can you
down
respond to that though? If the Khalil Institute is saying that like immigrants make our economy better, then why would immigration under Biden be making the economy worse now that Trump's removing them?
Well, just because he flooded America with it and put such a burden on our
Yeah, how do undocumented
finances
immigrants hurt
and-
America?
I mean, I don't have specific numbers, but
Okay, so then why are you assuming that it's hurt America? And why are you also assuming that that pain would only start once Biden's out of office? See, I would argue that we see very clear reason why the economy has gotten worse so far under Trump. Very clear reason. Okay? It is because of the imposition of his tariffs, not based on macroeconomic predictions, okay, but rather based on his own emotions and anger. Okay? Imposing them on every other country in the world, removing them the day later, reimposing them, then reducing them on some countries because their leaders were nice to him. Okay. Then to the big beautiful bill, which caused a bunch of economic destruction, and according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, he actually took the purchasing power away from the middle and low class and just put it back into the pockets of the ruling elite. According to the CBPP, average Americans making at or under $51,000 per year are actually worse off now because of the big beautiful bill compared to where they were at before. Not to mention it also took healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans and food stamps away from 3 million low-income Americans. Not to mention we've also had 2 government shutdowns. So in consideration of these facts, I'd argue that this is why last year we got a terrible jobs report. This is why last month we lost 92,000 jobs. They're directly linked to Donald Trump's policy, none of Biden's policy, because quite frankly, dude, he had great domestic policy that incentivized growth, that was pro-business, which is why we saw 3 years of the fastest increases in investment into American industries that we've ever seen in this country's recorded history.
all right. Yeah, I wasn't aware of some of those facts. But, you know, just like they say, no pain, no gain. Sometimes you got to take a little hit to get better.
Okay, but like, what is the hit that we're taking, and how is it going to make us better? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just like a uninformed liberal, but I don't understand how destroying the job market, causing bankruptcies, and going to war and killing children is going to be beneficial to us in the long term. I mean, do you have an explanation for that?
No, and I don't. You know, I am a little against. You know, he came in saying he was going to end all these wars and everything, and be the number one guy ever ending wars. And now he's kind of turning into a warmonger. But, you know, I'm sticking with him and riding this thing out.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask you another question?
Yeah,
Sorry, my cat's just in my lap trying to kill me.
it's all good.
Yeah. So, is there anything that Trump could do that'd make you stop supporting him as president?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with all these wars and stuff, it kind of, gets me thinking, like about the necessity of them and the purpose. But,
Well, here's my question for you. What if you knew that he engaged in sexual violence, like rape, sexual exploitation? Would you still support him? Oh my gosh.
no.
No, you want it? Okay. Momo, I love you. I'm gonna have to get you off my lap. Oh! She's in that mood of, I feel like if I touch her, she's just gonna claw me.
Going wild kitty today.
Yeah, it's just how she gets when she's playful. She's really cute, but really dangerous. Oh, there we go. Cute kitty. I'm gonna put you on the floor. Ow! Fuck! Oh no.
See, she's agreeing with the Trump too.
Yeah, no. My Momo is not a Trump supporter. Okay, I love you, kitty. I'm gonna put you on the ground. Okay. All right, anyway, sorry, now let's get back to business. Okay, so you said that if you knew that Donald Trump had sexually exploited anybody, you would stop supporting Donald Trump as president. Can we fairly agree? Ooh, I got to do this carefully. Don't want to touch my eye. I just had to scratch my nose there. Can we fairly agree that a workable definition of the term sexual exploitation would be to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually?
Sure.
Okay, so if Donald Trump were to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually, you wouldn't support him as president.
Correct.
Okay, so would an example of a man unjustly taking advantage of somebody sexually or sexually exploiting them be maybe like a male business owner who would unconsensually follow maybe a female employee into the woman's restroom and then peek their head over the door and then look at their private parts?
I mean, I don't know about the allegations and stuff like that. I know everyone calls him a misogynist and a womanizer.
This has nothing to do with Trump, and I'm just asking you, like, theoretically here, like, hypothetically, would this be an example of sexual exploitation?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, if Donald Trump were to do something similar to that, unconsensually look at the naked bodies of women or girls, you'd stop supporting them?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just grab this moment in the vault. On the ground. Okay.
Yeah.
1 second. Okay. So, like, if Donald Trump... There we go. There's a moment in the VOD. So, Donald Trump has sexually exploited women and girls by unconsensually looking at their naked bodies. And more than that, he has admitted to it. So, I'm about to play you a clip of Howard Stern's radio show in 2005, where the special guest was Donald Trump. And in this clip, you will hear Donald Trump admit to doing exactly that.
Obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a
is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
So don't even say a word, because I want to describe to you the two paths that rest in front of you. The first path is to be a man of your word, honor the fact that you just listened to Donald Trump admit to following women and girls into their dressing rooms where there would be naked with no men around, just to then see them with no clothes on, which would be for him to see them naked unconsensually. Okay, and then to admit that you're no longer a Trump supporter, to take the red hat off, grow a spine, and retract your loyalty for MAGA. That's your first